confiscate the money. That girl is a real proud small world, all her friends know me.
So we are back with the brand new episode of Cincinnati Stingers My League here in NBA 2K17. Last episode we simmed another season of the Stingers franchise and had a pretty good season once again. We obviously won the NBA championship once again, but I mean, we had one big trade in the offseason, went and sent our man Jason Tatum to the Nets for two great pieces in Aldridge and Norton. So, I mean, let's go and see how well our team does this season on the new regimen here in Cincinnati. So, this is what our lineup start looks like for this season. Nick Cheeks at point guard, Shane Wheeler at shooting guard, Francis Jenkins at small forward. We have Lynn Morgan at power, Cam Norton at center. We have Freddie Aldridge at six man, and so on with the rest of the players on the bench. But our number one power rankings in every single category so far when it comes to analysts, so that's pretty good to see that. But last year, obviously, in the last offseason, we went and traded Jason Tatum to the Brooklyn Nets. It's a heartbreaking trade, but it had to be done as we acquired Aldridge and a young center in Cam Norton. So, first game against the Nets, Wheeler puts up 45 against them, and Tatum only puts up 17 against his former team, but I guess he had below 50% shooting and 0 for 1 from the three. So, I mean, not that great of a game, but Nerlens well put up a double-double, so I guess that's pretty good for them. But we start off the season 8-1, go 10-11-2. We're killing it so far in this season. We're number one on top of the Eastern Conference. And I think the trade had to be done though. We got Aldridge, a great young small forward who can come off the bench and play very well. Plus we got Norton, who is a very good center, can collect rebounds like a monster. But right now, 35-4. I think we're on pace to break the NBA single season win record. That's just crazy though. We might be able to beat the Warriors record they did about 10 years ago on this thing, but in this franchise. But right now, 51-4, we're just killing it. Going into the All-Star break, we have Nick Cheeks and Francis Jenkins, our sixth man, I believe, as our All-Stars. But look, no Shane Wheeler on there. On the West All-Stars, we have Georges Patton on there, as usual. Dunk contest, nobody there, but three-point contest, we have Francis Jenkins, plus we have Nick Cheeks, both. Well, Francis Jenkins is not even a natural three-point shooter. Usually, he only just hits mid-range shots, but Russell Westbrook Jr. is on that Stars contest, so gotta watch out for his career, as he is gonna have a great career in the NBA. Plus, we do have Stanley Wall makes the Elites team. He barely even played any minutes at all. He maybe played 2 minutes in the entire season so far, but right now, number one MVP, our man Nick Cheeks. I'm loving that. Averaging a double-double in assists and points per game. Plus, you have Shane Wheeler on there too, even though he's not even an All-Star. It's kind of messed up there, but right now, number one in sixth man of the year is Francis Jenkins, so he's coming off the bench, playing very well. I think he's like 91 overall, so he's just killing the game right now as our sixth man. But right now, we're going to re-sign our sixth man right now, Francis Jenkins, 91 overall, to a 3-year deal worth 27 per year. Plus, we're going to try and re-sign Malcolm Little, as he wants to be re-signed with our team. Plus, he's a very good player in the postseason, obviously. He usually averages around 20 points per game when he's coming off the bench in the NBA playoffs. So, very good player. He's really crucial in the playoffs to have, but now, look at this. Jason Tatum on the Eastern All-Stars. I forgot he wasn't on there. So he's finally an All-Star after years of not being on there. I think he's only a one-time All-Star on our team as a Cincinnati Stinger. But now on Brooklyn for his first season, averaging not that bad of a season. 21.1 points per game. Not that bad. Averaging more than he would have been on Cincinnati. So finally gets the opportunity to go and star on a new team in Brooklyn. But right now, 64-7, 67-8. I don't know if we could beat the record here. 71-2, 73-8. We're going into the last game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Can we do it and break the single season NBA win record? And we can. 159-139 win for us against the Milwaukee Bucks. And we broke the single season win record in the NBA history. It's crazy to see that. So 74-8. We finally beat that Warriors record of 73-9. And the Chicago Bulls record of 72-10. So, I mean, crazier for us. Patton is your MVP, the five-time MVP. Francis Jenkins is sixth man of the year, so we finally have a sixth man of the year on here. But Marion Wall is defensive player of the year, most improved, Peter Andrews. And guess what? Kevin McHale, your coach of the year for the Cincinnati Stingers. 92 overall, 99 offense, 85 defense. I don't know if our team, literally, a team cannot lose in the playoffs. If we go, we better sweep everybody. But going into the all NBA teams, no Stingers through the first two teams, but Nick Cheek is on the all NBA third team, and nobody else on there too. But all defensive, nobody on there again. So no Shane Wheeler on there for once. It's kind of weird to see that. But we do obviously have all rookie second team, and nobody on there either. So now going into the record for this season, 74-8. We went and beat the single season win record for the NBA. That's crazy to see that. But Brooklyn Nets finished last in the NBA, tied for last against the Phoenix Suns. So I don't know what happened. I guess Jason Tatum made the team worse, or he just went and took two crucial pieces, Cam Norton and Frederick Aldridge, from the Brooklyn Nets, and that just caused them to play bad. So your Brooklyn Nets last in the NBA, your Cincinnati Stingers number one in the NBA. So that's a pretty drastic difference. Go from number one from Jason Tatum all the way down to dead last. But Nick Cheeks, obviously you led in points per game for us this season, and throughout the entire categories, obviously Nick Cheeks averaged a double-double throughout the entire season in assists and points per game. So I mean, crucial part of our offense and defense. I don't know how he didn't win MVP though. He's literally the reason, our foundation, and the reason why we win, or even broke the single season win record for the NBA. So I mean, great season by him, but for some reason Francis Jenkins is leading us in a few categories on there, even though he is our sixth man. So I mean, 3-point shots, he's taking the most threes. That is, like, his 3-point shot is not even that good either, yet he went into the 3-point contest. So pretty crazy to see that from Francis Jenkins. Double doubles. Nick Cheeks averaged double double through almost more than half the season, so that's pretty crazy to see that. But nobody on the team averaged less than -1 in points in a plus minus. So that's pretty crazy on that end too. But Patton averaged 40 points per game. There's a reason why he's an MVP. He basically leads the Clippers every single season to the playoffs. But Nick Cheeks, 18th in the league in scoring. 22nd is Shane Wheeler. And 29th is Frederick Aldridge. And right, they're looking number 28. You have Jason Tatum right on top of Aldridge. So I guess he's better than Aldridge in a few categories. But other than that, he's 10 years younger. Frederick Aldridge is 10 years younger than Jason Tatum. So I mean, I think we came out on top on that one. But rookie report, Russell Westbrook Jr. third in that one. It looks like Joshua Cameron takes home Rookie of the Year. So no Westbrook Jr. for Rookie of the Year. As man, we're facing the Washington Wizards in the first playoff series in the quarterfinals. The Washington Wizards, they're a horrible team compared to us. We're 10 or 13 points per game better than them in the regular season. It should be a breeze, right? Nope. They would take game 1 somehow against us. 132-128 game. Now we lost game 1. Game 2, we win game 2. Okay, so now we might be back on track here. Cheeks puts up a double-double once again. Cam Norton a double-double when it comes to rebounds and points. But going into game 3, we take game 3 to take a 2-1 edge over the Wizards in the quarterfinals. So Cheeks puts up 31 and 11 for double-double when it comes to assists. So we're doing very well there. Game 4 though, they take game 4 to make it a 2-2 series here. We should be able to sweep the Washington Wizards, yet for some reason they're exposing our weaknesses. I have no idea what our weaknesses are, but now they take a 3-2 edge against us in the quarterfinals. How does this happen? I have no idea how. Aldridge drops 30, but Wheeler only puts up 21, as our team needs to step it up, as we're on the verge of elimination after having the greatest season in NBA history, like the Warriors here, except we're not in the NBA Finals. But now going into this game, it's a win or go home situation for us, as I'm kind of take this one slow here, as I want to win this one, but no, we destroy them completely. 137-99 final. We let them know that we're not going to go down easily. We're the best team in NBA history. We're not going to go down that easily in the quarterfinals to a weak 8th seed in the Washington Wizards. But now, 3-3 series, you're going to a game 7. We are in Cincinnati. Come on, we got to win against them. It's like playing a D-League team practically against the greatest team in the world, but we take this one. We destroy them completely by 44 points. Yeah, and we're moving on to the next playoff series. So, man, our team played very well in Game 7. We're clutch when it comes to that. But your Wizards were terrible, though. The Wizards didn't even play very well at all, as we're going into the next semifinal series. And we're facing the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets, they're not that bad of a team, I guess. They're 53-29. They're a dynasty a few years back where they won about 2 or 3 NBA championships in a row. But they have a few injuries. We have no injuries after the first series. Usually we have like maybe 2 or 3 season-ending injuries by now going into the playoffs. We take game 1 though against the Hornets, 137-109 final. We destroy them completely there. Jenkins puts up 55 though. Wow. As our 6th man. But we take a 2-0 edge here as Nick Cheeks puts up 26. Aldridge puts up 26. And man, we destroy them again in this game. Now, game 3, they take game 3 to make it a 2-1 series here in Charlotte. So, I mean, I don't know, they're not going down hard, as we only put up 16 as our game high for points. It's pretty bad. But game 4, we take game 4 33-1 here, edge for us in this series, as Cam Norton puts up a double-double. Now, going into game 5, though, game 5, we're in Cincinnati. Let's go and win this one as right now. But we win this one 100 points. We're moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals once again in this franchise. So we're killing it right now as our team, just almost on the verge of elimination in Game 7. Now we win 4-1 against the Charlotte Hornets, and now we're taking on the Boston Celtics here in the Eastern Conference Finals, as they're not that bad of a team. They had Mike Conley Jr., the GOAT on this game, and they have a great 6-man in Dennis Smith coming off the bench at 86 overall. So I mean, 2 great 6-man coming on off the bench, playing well, as we have no injuries once again. So our injury situation, not a problem in this game, as we take game 1 here in the Eastern Conference Finals by a score of 136-119 finals. So Mike Conley Jr. puts up 26 points, as he's averaging 19 points per game, not that bad. But Nick Cheeks puts up 26. That's cool to see that. as our team is finally starting to come around here, playing as we did when we won 74 games in the regular season. We take game 2, 130-105 final. We destroy them by 25 points. As Okafor puts up a pretty decent game for the Celtics. And now we take a 3-0 edge against the Celtics here, as our team is just killing it. Jenkins comes off the bench, putting up a double-double, 31 and 11. And Nick Cheeks playing very well against. I mean, Cheeks, Jenkins, Aldridge, Wheeler, Morgan, Malcolm Little, everyone playing very well to make this happen. As we're going into game 4 here in Boston, let's go try and bring out the brooms and sweep them. But as we're going into the fourth quarter, we lose by 7 points, 117-110 final. As we're not going to go and sweep the Celtics in Boston. But now Mike Conley Jr. played very well, 31 points put up against us. And Dennis Smith played well, 18 and 12 for an assist for a double-double. But now going into game 5, let's go and take this one in Cincinnati. Why not bring out the brooms and sweep the Boston Celtics here as we win this one by a close one. 5 points, 111-106 final. We're moving on to the NBA Finals once again for I don't know how many years in a row now, but now we win this one. Mike Conley Jr. puts up 24 points. Dennis Smith, a double-double once again. But, I mean, not enough to go overcome the greatest team in NBA history. As we moved on to the NBA Finals to face the Houston Rockets, who have not lost a single game yet in these playoffs. Obviously, in the quarterfinals, they swept the Utah Jazz. Second series, they swept whatever team they're facing. And in the West Conference Finals, they swept the team they're facing too. So they haven't lost yet, as they have actually not that bad of a team, I guess. Joey Walsh is the GOAT, but Ronnie Day, our first injury in the playoffs, as they have no injuries too, but Joey Walsh, 28.3 points per game, he's killing it. Anthony Ruffin is a very good player for them too. So Joey Walsh versus the best team in NBA history. Let's go and actually hand the Houston Rockets their first L of the postseason. And we do. Then we just destroy them completely. 121-195 final. As Aldridge puts up a double-double, Wheeler puts up a double-double, Cheeks puts up a double-double, and everyone else. I think we have 3 double-doubles there, and Lynn Morgan too. So I mean, 3 double-doubles goes and hands Houston their first L of the postseason. Now we're up 1-0 here in the NBA Finals. And heading to game 2 here, we went tie the first quarter, but going into the fourth quarter, we're clutch. Put up 46 points in the fourth quarter to win this 130-106 final. We'd crush them again. So we hand them their second L of the postseason, as we played well once again against these Houston Rockets. Joey Walsh only 18 points. His average is slowly climbing down here as our team just keeps destroying them completely. As a double-double put up by Freddie Aldridge in this game. Now heading to game 3 here, first game in Houston. Maybe that might be able to play well in Houston here, as we're going into the fourth quarter. We dominate again in the fourth quarter to go put up a 3-0 lead so far here in the NBA Finals, as we hand them their third L of the postseason here. We're playing so well right now. I can't believe it. We're up 3-0 here in the NBA Finals. We might be able to sweep them, as Joey Walsh puts up 24 and 10 for a double-double. Ruffin puts up 22 and 10 for a double-double. But not enough to overcome the Cincinnati Stingers. They're heading to game 4 here in Houston. Let's go and sweep the Houston Rockets and hand them their 4th L of the postseason. As we're kind of take this one slow here. They win the first quarter, 29 points there put up by them.
6 to shoot. And a great job by the D contesting that shot and forcing the miss. And they've done it, the new NBA champions. What a moment it is right now to see the team who played so well together enjoying this NBA championship moment.
What a moment it is right now to see the team who played so well together enjoying this NBA championship moment.
And seeing this team come together over the course of the season and on into the playoffs, what a joy. I mean, there is no better champion the league could have asked for.
And a pleasure here at 2K Sports to be with you all season long. Good night, everyone.
So we sweep the Houston Rockets here in 4 games to win our 5th NBA title here as a franchise for the Cincinnati Stingers. So, my God, I don't know how we did. We swept the Houston Rockets after they haven't lost a single game in the postseason. As Cheeks puts up 24 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and the entire team just played very well. It's clear to say that Jason Tatum might have been the problem here in Cincinnati. I have no idea why, but for some reason we're playing very well under the new regimen here with Freddie Aldridge. Obviously, Jason Tatum is a great player, but I mean, Aldridge seems to be a way better player in all aspects. As here, Cincinnati Stingers, I won the NBA championship once again. So Nick Cheeks He is your finals MVP after putting up 18.8 points per game and 9.3 assists, almost a double-double, but he did average a double-double in the regular season, and he probably did overall in the playoffs. But we sweep the Houston Rockets after they swept every single team so far in the postseason. It's actually pretty cool to see that. It's almost like karma, but not really karma. But let's going into these player retirements. We do have Archie Goodwin, who did retire. He was on the Stingers for about 3.5 years, so great player. I really respect him as a bench player. We always sign him for minimum too, so I mean, he's really good coming off the bench. But Andrew Harrison retires too. We have Chris Dunn retires here as a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves after playing on the Timberwolves for years, then going to a different team, then coming back for his last season. But Timothy Luwahu, he retires as a Warriors. We did draft him in the expansion draft, a great young prospect, but I mean, he didn't really pan out with us. But Joel Embiid retires too, longtime 76er, the process. This didn't, I don't know why he didn't sign the team for this last season, but anyway, great, actually not really that great of player retirements. No huge superstars, but we do have Corey Joe retired here as a free agent, and we have Dennis Schroeder too retired as a member of the Phoenix Suns. So Brandon Knight, though, I thought he'd retire as a member of the Suns too, but he retires as a member of the Knicks. As we're going in to this one with Giannis Antetokounmpo, he retired as a member of the Toronto Raptors, a great player, and staff retirement, so we do have one player staff, I don't know, but Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to the Hall of Fame. You're inducted to the Hall of Fame, 1,254 games played, great points per game average, and so on, as he gets his number retired by the Miami Heat? What the heck? Why would Milwaukee now retire his number? But Chris Dunn gets his number retired by the Minnesota Timberwolves there too. So league meetings, no league meetings at all that are really that good. You don't need to prove anyone there. As we're going in the draft lottery here for Kris Mayo. Kris Mayo, 87 overall, coming off a draft is incredible to see. But Miami Heat win the rights to go and draft Kris Mayo here in that one. As, man, he's a great player though. 87 overall in the draft. We got to somehow get our hands on him. So we're going to go and send him just a crappy trade here. See if they accept this one. So we're going to go and throw in a few first round picks that are literally meaningless to us, as our team is so dominant right now. But it actually goes through here where we get the rights to go and draft Kris Mayo here.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
Going to the draft day though, we're feeling very good here, as we get the rights to go and draft the first overall pick, our man, 85 or 87 overall, Kris Mayo here. Let's go and do it.
First pick in the NBA draft, Kris Mayo from Wake Forest University. With the second pick in the NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select the 20-year-old point guard from Russia. With the third pick in the NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Doyle Watson from the University of California. With the fourth pick in the NBA draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Perry Dawson from Indiana University. We have a trade to announce. With the fifth pick in the NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select the 22-year-old power forward from the University of Notre Dame. We have a trade to announce. With the sixth pick in the NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select Clyde Foster from the University of Houston. With the seventh pick in the NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select the 20-year-old small forward from Boise State University. We have a trade to announce. With the 8th pick in the NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Hal Rollins from the University of California. We have a trade to announce. With the 9th pick in the NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Darrell Matthews from Virginia Tech. With the 10th pick in the NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select D. Hickman from Indiana University. We have a trade to announce. With the 11th pick in the NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Stan Randolph from Eastern Kentucky University.
So your draft summary here, we obviously drafted Kris Mayo first overall, and we sent a crappy trade to the Miami Heat, but for some reason, they take it as a truth. They thought it was actually a good trade. They accept that one, as we did have to give up our best player usually in the playoffs, Malcolm Little, but I mean, to get something big, you gotta give up something big. But Kris Mayo though, great player, everyone's happy we drafted him, as he's gonna be a very valuable piece coming off either playing at power forward maybe, or even playing off the bench. I have no idea, but all I know is Francis Jenkins will be playing 6-man, as he was our 6th man of the year this year, so I mean, gotta keep him playing on the 6-man, but Kris Mayo probably set him up at the 4th spot. He seems like that he has a size to play the 4th spot, but our draft summary, this is actually a horrible draft. Only great player coming out of this is Kris Mayo, obviously. And the 2nd overall pick is 66 overall, or 67 overall. No, it is 66 overall. And the 2nd round pick in is better than the 2nd overall pick, I guess. I don't know how this happens. This draft is horrible besides Kris Mayo. Hopefully next year is a lot better. So we're going to go and send an option right to our man, Aldridge. We're going to go and send a qualifying offer to Cam Norton here, seeing if anyone else tries to sign him, so we'll go and match their offer. We do have Ronnie Day. We're going to sign a minimum for 2 years. And we do have David Davenport here, a long-time member of the Stingers, a 5-time champion, obviously, with the Stingers. But going into the free agency, weak free agency class, as Cam Norton is the top free agent here. We're going to go and obviously match any qualifying offer we get here, as we have bird rights on him. But the free agency class actually isn't really that good here, I guess. You have a lot of great role players coming off the bench here, maybe, to go and sign. But I guess you have great players like Tyler Lydon. Lydon's not that bad, I guess. It'd be nice to sign him, but I mean, you want to go and continue his career to the Raptors after he's played so well there. But we're going to go and sign Terrence Ferguson plus Glenn Atkins, come play off the bench here for us in the next season. Plus we're going to go and sign Ronnie Day, and let's see if we could so and sign Cam Norton as we can. But we can only sign 2 players here, as the cap situation is happening once again. So Cam Norton signs a huge mega deal, 4 years, over $104 million. As we cannot sign those rest of those guys, which means we can't sign Scala this year. So I mean, I'd rather go for Andrew Coleman plus Cam Norton, as I don't know, they seem like the better players off the have off the bench. But Dave Davenport does sign the Chicago Bulls, wants to actually play some minutes there. As we're going to go in the Summer League here, go sim the playoffs, see if we play well, as we go to the finals, but lose the Boston Celtics here in the the Summer League finals. But let's go see who won Summer League MVP, obviously, in the Summer League. And guess who? Kris Mayo wins MVP of the Las Vegas Summer League tournaments. I mean, Kris Mayo, great player. Want to see him on the next year, play very well on the team. But anyway, I guess I'll end this episode off here. Make sure to like, subscribe for more Cincinnati Stingers My League. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.